Let's quickly go over the Kenwood, what I call the Kenwood connector. This is a standard mic speaker connector that was originally come about, I believe, by Kenwood. And you see it a lot in the Chinese radios like the Baofengs and etc., where they've got the small one and the big one there. It's different for Yaesu and Com. Those have different setups, so this is really going to only work with Kenwoods or these wonderful, inexpensive Chinese ones that everybody has. So let's take a look at the connectors. From a transmitting sound standpoint to the radio, what you really care about is this pin here, the shield of the larger 1/8 inch or 3.5 millimeter. That is push to talk, and on a lot of these headsets it's the gold wire, but don't always trust that. Next to it, the center one, which is often tied to red, is the mic. This is where we're going to send audio through. The tip on this larger plug, in theory, will provide power. In reality, on most of the cheaper radios, is not connected. On the 2.5, the smaller one, the ring here, which is often tied to blue, is the ground. Ground is very key because in order for the radio to start transmitting, you're basically connecting ground to push to talk. So that's why we got to get up in this one. I don't know why they don't have ground down here, but that's the way they did it. The tip, I'm going to skip the middle one. The tip on the small one is the speaker. This is the speaker output. If you have an external speaker, you could tie into this. For my more advanced controllers, it does the listening part, so it listens to the DTMF tones. Middle, forget what that does. I don't use it in most of these cases. But if you're gonna not use one of these connectors, you can get by getting a stereo 1/8 inch plug that you could solder, because that'll give you access to push to talk and to audio. The sucky part is that you're going to miss your ground. The workaround, which I've seen some people do, and I have done it and it works fine, is you could have a jumper or a alligator clip or whatever tie to a ground point on the radio. And in fact, these Baofengs have a little thing right here that you could tie into. So that is an option. If you don't want to hack into these plugs and do the desoldering, you could get the 1/8 inch one, hack it, or get one and solder it, which again, I hate doing that, but go for it. That'll give you your two key things, push to talk and the microphone. You just need ground, and you can either get ground from here, or you can get ground, you could tie off the radio. You use a digital multimeter and just a continuity tester, and you could test around, and you see almost any metal part on the radios are ground points. But I would test it to be sure. So that is the Kenwood connector. You've got your usually gold push to talk. You've got your usually red mic, which is that center one, ground up on the little one, and speaker up here, which we don't need for the simple ones, but you could use for more advanced. You really need this section, and you don't care about the tip, but so you need a stereo plug, so it's got to have 1, 2, 3. 2 is not good enough. Hope that helps.